Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome to the EGU podcast. You're with Michelle Reinhardt, and today we are here with a very special lady who is also a Michelle, and she's going to help us, particularly the Aussie women, with some startup information on business. Now, Michelle is, my goodness, has so many different fingers in different pots here and there. She is a CEO and founder at Startup Mum. She is a business strategist and coach at Michelle Smith and a business owner at Total Concept Management. And she's about to become a business owner at two more businesses, Website HQ and a partnership with the Essential Spot in natural therapies. Now, I've asked Michelle to join us today to elaborate a little more about how her community can support Australian women in business. And I'd love very dearly to welcome a very nice friend of mine to the show, Michelle Smith. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to have the two Michelles together.
Here we go again, hey? Dynamic duo.
Exactly.
Michelle, how did you come about setting up Startup Mum, and what was the inspiration behind that?
Yeah, it was really out of my own self-need, I guess. It was very self-serving of me to have created it. I was a single mum. I had a 6-month-old baby, and I was trying to, get my business happening, and I was looking for some support, some networking, and so I was going to some networking events. And as a solo mum, I really needed to take my little one along with me. And people were saying, "I'm sorry, you can't bring kids to these things." And I thought to myself, like, how do mums do it? Like, how especially single mums, how do you get out there and network and do your business if you don't have somewhere that you can have your kids? And talking to other friends, I've come from a corporate background, and talking to other friends that were in corporate that, wanted to start their own business, and they just didn't even know where to begin. So really it was sitting there, as we do at 3:00 in the morning, and we get those initial inspirations that come through.
Yeah, light bulb moment.
The light bulb moment. I was feeding my little one, and all of a sudden just the whole concept of Startup Mum came to me. And so once I got her back to sleep, I just sat down and I wrote all my ideas out, and basically started setting up the next day. So it kind of grew from there, and I sort of really didn't know how it was going to happen. And I set up the first event here on the Central Coast in New South Wales. And soon, I had people from Sydney asking if they could host meetings down there, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
It does, and I was fortunate enough to be the host of your very first Melbourne event.
That's it, very first, Melbourne event. So it was expanding outside of the state, and it's been a really great journey. I've been really fortunate to meet so many amazing mums that are going through their own business journey, and just watching people flourish, and just how they just take their things and they just run with it, and how they're juggling motherhood with businesses, and some of them, like myself, multiple businesses.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Michelle, because it is a very daunting prospect, I guess, if you want to put it that way, to be faced with the fact of having to support a child and be the best possible version of a mum that you can be, nurturing your own self and soul journey, as well as create a full-time income to support your child.
That's right. And I think, and for myself, being a single mum, really returning back to a corporate job wasn't an option for me. So I really needed to make my own business work. And so I needed the support up there as well, because, I'm not an expert in everything. So for me, it was also a great opportunity for me to grow my knowledge and meet other women who had expertise in other areas that I didn't.
The power of women coming together.
Exactly.
Don't you love that? So, Michelle, amongst the things that you started literally channeling when you came up with the Startup Mum concept, what was your purpose about that, apart from obviously supporting women? What was on those bullet notes that you started jotting down that you wanted to make sure women got support with?
Well, I think it really stemmed back to the local community, and I think that's one of the areas that we've really focused on with our events, is really getting into the communities and being a local support network for mums. You know, we didn't want them to be having to traipse right across, you know, the cities to one location. We wanted them to be able to connect in their local communities with other people that were in their communities and develop friendships that could continue on after the events, and connections with other business women that they could support and leverage as well. So I think that was really, for me, the big focus. And I know a number of times I've had mastermind communities or coaches tell me that the chapters don't make money. Like, you have these events for free, and it's like, you need to close them down and you need to build something around making money. But I'm like, no, this is my gut feeling is this is where we need to be. We need to be out there in the communities, and we need to be offering these events for mums for free.
Well, I know, having hosted that one, well, a couple actually I did before I had to step away and focus on building my own little empire. I loved the group of women that I was able to bring together. In fact, we're still friends, many of us, that we came together for that event, and I've gone and supported a book launch of one of the women, and one of the other women was calling me a couple of weeks ago with healing advice and asking for support through the solar eclipse dramas that were happening. And I wouldn't have met those women had it not been for that. And I had no idea these beautiful women were in my very own community, at my own back door.
That's it, and that's the beauty of it. And I hear so many stories like your own where they've developed really close friendships with other women that they would never have had the opportunity to know they existed. So I think that's, for me, I really am proud of the fact that we are reaching into those local communities and we are building those networks for mums.
Exactly right. So, Michelle, what do you offer at Startup Mum within your community? What can people expect by coming in there and meeting you?
I think, we're all at different stages in our journey, and for what I really feel is that, no question that you have is a stupid question. We need to be able to reach out and ask people, and people have been there, they've trapped the path that we're taking, and they're able to offer the advice, they're able to offer recommendations, and it saves you having to go and do the research and take 10 times as long when you can actually go and find out from somebody else exactly where to go, or recommendations of suppliers or systems or those sorts of things. So I think that's it's really great having that connection. And I think even though we are in the local communities, we also have an online support network through a Facebook group called Business Mums Australia, and we have probably over 6,500 mums in there at the moment. And people can just come into the group and ask their questions, ask for recommendations. If they're trying to come up with a logo, we can share their logo ideas and get people's thoughts on it. They can, run surveys, get people's feedback. So I think, it's really a great resource for people to feel like, there's other women that can have their back.
Is it limited to Australian women, Michelle, or do you have more of a global community as you expand?
We are getting sort of more international people into the group. We do focus on the Australian community, and the topics we talk about are sometimes only relevant to Australia in terms of what's being offered, and some of the I guess the red tape things that happen for Australian businesses. But we do have international exposure, and we have some mums connecting from other countries as well, particularly from New Zealand and the States. And I welcome that. So and even at our local communities, we often have people that aren't mums and that aren't women coming to our events. And I've always said, we're completely open to having dads come along to our events. and people that aren't mums, just be warned, we may throw some mum stuff in there about childbirth or something. So
yeah, I can well imagine. No subject is taboo when you get a bunch of women together who are of similar and like-minded and journeying together. Hey, there's power.
Exactly.
When women come together, not just women, but groups of people. It's very, very powerful. I love that. I love it, Michelle. And within your community, within the business mums, you also have a membership site as well to take people on a different journey?
We do, yes. So Startup Mum has a community membership, and it's we have a range of tools that are available on the website for our members. In particular, we have a toolkit where we recommend different resources. So, if you're looking for things like website hosting and you're not sure who to turn to, you can jump on the website and you can find those resources. And a lot of the resources we've also been able to negotiate special deals with as well. We have also partnered and continue to partner with some large companies. So Officeworks, for example, is, we've been very fortunate to partner with them. And that really gives mums an opportunity to get access to a business account, as well as some preferential pricing on a range of everyday products. They get free delivery as well, mostly same-day delivery. So it's a really good opportunity for mums to get those little perks. We also have a monthly theme that we focus on. So we have a guide that we distribute at our local chapters, and it's also available for download for non-members as well. And that would focus on a topic for the month. And it's a 10-page guide where they can read some articles. They can get access to some worksheets in there as well. And the other thing that we have is a mission that goes along with that. So for our community members, they actually dig a little bit deeper into that topic, and we have a 4-week mission where every week they get to focus on a couple of different areas to help build that their knowledge around that particular topic. So there is a range of different tools. We have a business directory that people can list their business in. So it's really a great resource there as well.
Wow. And when did you start this up, Michelle? It seems like it's gained, and I know we met probably 2 years ago, although time does fly, and that was very early stages. So you had that planning for quite some time before that as well.
I did, yeah. So, my daughter's about to turn 5 soon. So, so she when I started. So it's been a journey over a few years. But yeah, and I think some of the things that we've recently implemented, like the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is about 2 years old now. So we kind of growing as the community, has the needs. We kind of move towards supporting those needs for them.
Do you have support, Michelle? It seems like you've got an awful lot under that umbrella.
I do. I mean, I'm very bad accepting support. I guess I'm a very independent kind of person, and I always feel like I can do everything myself. But I do. I mean, just in terms of the hosts that are out there, we have a volunteer network of hosts that run our events. And those hosts are a great support to me. And they're always, recently I've been down sick with the flu and my daughter's been sick. So they've been a great support network for me and offering to pick up some of the reins.
I remember doing distance healing for you about this time last year, actually.
Yes. Winter time is a terrible time for us.
I'd completely forgot about that, so there you go. Now, Michelle, I'm going to pick your brain. I'm going to assume that we've got a bunch of women out there that are in, obviously, the startup phase of their business or considering the fact that they need to bring extra income into their families. What would your advice be to these women to get them started in the strongest, most capable way? We know starting a business can be challenging. It doesn't have to be hard though, does it?
It doesn't, and I think a lot of the times we wait for the moon and the stars to align and everything to be perfect. And the thing is, you really just need to put it out there. And I've spoken at a couple of workshops around this topic about, sort of how do we start? You've got an idea, where do you go from there? And a lot of people will talk about, putting together a business plan and, sitting down and building this massive instrument that you're going to use as a doorstop or dust collector at some stage. And my thoughts really are, business plans are great if you're looking for investors or, that sort of thing. But I think really if you just get your ideas out there and down on paper and just figure out what it is that you want to do and, who your customer is, I think that's really a big part, because that is going to, I guess, really direct your business. Just knowing exactly who you're out there to serve is it's really going to be a great starting point.
And for those that are very brand new, that we're talking about a niche market, and also having a very solid avatar, so that you know who you're speaking to when you're connecting, because there's so many people out there. I remember early days, my coach saying to me, if you go out there and trying to fish in the ocean and throw your net so wide, you'll end up catching nothing. But if you go out there with the right bait for the right fish, you'll get it. And a lot of women I've found make the mistake that, they think, oh no, but I'll just take any customer. It doesn't matter. and your energy is just so scattered and so wide and broad that it's virtually impossible, and it's very, very difficult to do that. So it is important to come back to knowing who your customer is and what exactly it is you want to sell. And that comes back to finding your own personal passion point, doesn't it? What do you love?
Yeah, and I think, that, like, as you say, when you're starting a business, you will just take any business, whoever's throwing money at you, you just want to take it. But the thing is, if you get a customer who's really not someone that you're going to do your best work for, and they're just going to be a pain in the ass customer, as a mum, I think to myself, like, if I'm having to work with a customer that's going to drive me mental, that I don't get lit up by the work that I'm doing with them, and I'm not going to serve them to the best of my ability, then it's taking the time away from my daughter. I could be spending time with her, hanging out with a pain in the ass customer. So, and I know it's hard, because in those early days you want the money and you don't want to say no to people, but you really do need to figure out who it is that you're looking to serve, because that's going to help you decide what you call your business, what voice you use, what you brand your business, how you approach the market. There's so many things about your business all rely on that one aspect of knowing who you serve. And you can have multiple people that you serve. You can be somebody who creates a product, and you can have a wholesale person who's an ideal client, or you can have an end customer. So there can be multiples out there, but you really do need to hone in on who exactly that is, and as you say, create that avatar about it. One of the things I do is I even give them a name, so that who they are, and as doing things, you design your logo and you think, what would Jenny think about this? How would you feel,
that is vital, Michelle, and I'd really like to hone in on that for our listeners, because the more you know about them, the more you know about where they shop, where they search online. Are they on LinkedIn, or are they on Facebook, or do they Snapchat? They're the people that you need to target that to. And yes, find their name. How many kids do they have, or don't they? Are they divorced? Are they single? Are they whatever it is that you need to find out about that target market. And very often it's who we were.
Yes, and that's a really good point, because when I started, I was self-serving myself for this, what I was creating for the community. And I thought, well, I'm my ideal target, so what would I want? And things changed. The community grew, and it changed, and so I needed to change my avatar as well. And that's a really big part of that as well, is that businesses evolve, things change, and you need to have your avatars change with that as well.
As do we. We change too. The more confidence we get, the more clients we serve, the more feedback, testimonials we get, our energy grows and our confidence and our knowledge, everything grows. So it's vital to keep expanding and upgrading and updating with those changes. I actually shudder when I look back at videos that I created like 5-6 years ago. I just say, oh my gosh. But you know what? That was part of the growth.
It was, and one of the other things that I think is a really great thing when you're trying to find your avatar is to look at your current customer base, or to look at people that that could potentially be a customer. And I have a good friend who's actually going to be my business partner in this new business venture. And it turned out she actually ended up being my ideal customer. And so I would use her to bounce ideas off. And as I was creating new content for the community, I would, courses, I would say to her, would you mind having a look at this course for me and seeing what you think of it? I would say to her, what's your biggest pain point at the moment? That would give me ideas for topics for some of the guides that we were doing. If I was going to do a survey, I would get her to do the survey first and get her feedback on that. So that's another great thing, is to finding someone that you can bounce things off, who is that perfect avatar, but in real life, and that's another way, or a customer who you've become good friends with, that you can ask questions of, or even a few customers that you can create a focus group of.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings a really valid point up as well, because I've noticed, as women and men, as we choose to step up and change our lives, very often the people that we need to support us in doing that are not the people that we're surrounded with currently.
That's right. And I think, particularly in the direct sales business, one of the things that we all get trained to do is, create your list of 100 people. And so we go out and we attack our parents and our siblings and our closest friends, and we drive them all mental. I'm not dissing that the direct sales industry, because I'm actually in it, but I just think that there's a different way to do it, and even with direct sales, I think it's really important to think about you as the brand rather than the product that you're selling as the brand, because that's, at the end of the day, what people are drawn to is you. What is it that you offer that's different to the consultant that is also selling the same product? So I think, even if you are going to venture down that direct sales route for a business, it's a perfect way to go, and to look at how you can build your business around you.
Agreed. And I have a solid background as well in direct sales. Party plan. I was the party plan queen for many years.
Yes, and I was up there in Tupperware myself at some stage.
There you go. And look, to be honest, I couldn't have been in my own business back then because I didn't have the confidence, the knowledge, or the skills. So it was a perfect starting point for me to have that support. I had weekly meetings and training and all that sort of stuff. Now I couldn't personally think of anything worse, but that's just a part of our growth, isn't it? And it's a wonderful place to start. I still have a beautiful circle of friends from those days that, we bless those days, because we wouldn't have met each other without them.
It is, and it's a great. I mean, if you're you're looking to start a business and you don't have an idea for yourself, finding something that you feel connected to in terms of a product or something that else is out there, and just grabbing that and running with it and utilizing the training, all the resources that they provide to help you build a business. I think it's a perfect way, to get started in the business world.
I couldn't agree more, Michelle. I think it's very important to, be super comfortable with your product. You need to love your product. And I, to be honest, have not found I actually haven't found any direct sales products that aren't top of the range. They're all exceptional, and they need to be, because they're competing against, your $2 shops and everything. So they need to be
Exactly.
exceptional. So I, for one, a huge advocate. I love getting my girlfriends over and, you know, throwing the wine on and the cheese and displaying a product. You know, I love doing that. So it's it's a great way to start.
It definitely is, and it's, you know, it's a really easy way and low cost way to get into business as well.
Absolutely. Now, Michelle, I'd love for you to sell yourself, sell your community, tell women and men, if they're joining in and listening to us, what they will get from your community at Startup Mum and also at Business Support Network.
Well, Business Mums Australia, yeah.
Yep.
So I guess they really get the consolidated expertise of a group of over 6,500 women. That in itself is amazing, that there's so many people that are connecting and able to offer their expertise from, you know, so many different industries and so many different levels of those industries as well. So I think that's really a real big you know, reason to be part of the community. But also, I guess, you know, they get the confidence in themselves, their ability to be able to do this, because there's other mums just like them that are already doing it and achieving things. One of the, you know, the other topics that comes up a lot is about juggling family with business and multiple businesses like myself. And, you know, we often will, you know, share our own, you know, what we're doing and how we're doing it, and, you know, how we manage our time. And you know, for me, it's always family first. You know, I always think, you know, as mums, we put our family first, business second, and it all just sort of makes sense. It all comes together.
Oh, there'd be some coaches out there that would be saying, no, you've got to put yourself first.
There would be, yes.
And to be honest there as well, I've done the family first for a long, long time. My children are older now. I've got 14 and 17-year-old now, so they don't need that so much so anymore. But yeah, definitely when the kids were little, I worked at night so that I was with them during the day, and I was exhausted for years.
And it does. You know, you really do have to juggle it, because, as you say, you do need to take care of yourself as well. You know, it's that whole aeroplane scenario. And the aeroplane's crashing, the mask comes down. You need to fit yours first before you fit that of your child. You know, you do need to make sure that you are getting the time. And it's hard as mums, especially, you know, some mums are working full time still. So,
yeah.
You know, their job, they come home, they look after the kids, and then they jump online when the kids go to bed. And so,
play on Facebook.
That's it. They do this side hustle. But, you know, there's other mums out there that, you know, they've got the kids and they're trying to juggle, you know, their business around nap times and those sorts of things. So, you know, everyone has their own way of doing it. And I think it's great that as a community we can share and we can learn from each other.
Absolutely. So, Aussie mums, we have found the spot for you to get all the support.
Come on down.
Yeah, come on down. All the support and the networking and the encouragement, the mentorship that you need.
And I'm very active in the group as well, so they will be able to, you know, brainstorm with me, and I often. I really do love supporting, you know, the members of the community, and I'll often, you know, say to somebody, you know, message me, and they'll bounce some ideas off me, and I can give them some feedback on some things. So, you know, I really enjoy doing that.
Absolutely. So jump on into the community, and if you need, you can tag me because I'm in there as well. And Michelle, where can people find you? Could you just give them a reminder? You set it up the start of the show, and I'll put it in the show notes as well. But just,
The website is startupmum.com.au, and they can search for Business Mums Australia in the Facebook group and find the group there as well.
That's fantastic. Do you have I know you're very integral, and you have a big purpose, and you have very strong beliefs.
Yes.
Can you just, in parting, can you just share that? Because I really want your heart to reach the women that need to hear this, because we need support. We can't do this alone. We're not made to do it alone. The more support you can put out there to receive, the stronger you'll grow as a person and in your business.
And I truly believe that. For me, I am really about paying it forward. And I've always been. I've done business mentoring and career coaching for many, many years, even during my corporate life. And one of the things that I used to always say to people that I mentored was, I have two things to ask of you. The first is that you pay it forward, that you get the opportunity to do what I'm doing for you one day. And then the second thing is that I'm only going to be able to take you to a certain point. And then after that, you're going to need to move on. And I appreciate that you just let me know when that time is ready, and don't feel uncomfortable about that, because I think it's really important that, you use your mentors, you feel the gratitude for them, and then you move on to your next mentor. And I think that's, really great, is that we're able to be out there and sharing our knowledge and helping others and supporting them and lifting them up.
I love that, Michelle. It's very important. And I must admit, in the early days of my business, when I was offering free healings to get testimonials, I would often say to people, I need you to, this needs to be an energy exchange. Our whole world is energy. If you give something, you must receive. If you receive something, you must give, whether that be in terms of a pay it forward, a free session, or money, or time.
Exactly.
You need to be aware that balance is reciprocal. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
That's it. No, exactly. It needs to, you need to move it forward and let other people appreciate the gift that you can offer.
Yes, we do. I'm super, super thrilled that we got to catch up, Michelle. Thank you so much for all of on behalf of all the women that you support and that you nurture and you help grow. Thank you for the work that you do, for the vision and the courage and the action that you took to get it up and running.
Thanks. No, I'm so pleased. I am so grateful that the women allow me to be part of their journey.
And good luck with website HQ and the Essential Spot. I look forward to seeing the beautiful natural products that come out of that.
Yes, I'm very excited.
When's that launching, Michelle?
Next week.
Oh, very close. We'll be launching this at the same time. So thank you once again, Michelle, for joining us on the EGU podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And I'd love to just finally reach out to the ladies and guys, if you've listened and tuned in. We have every week global experts coming to you in mindset, energy, business, and all things spiritual. Please be sure to subscribe so that you do not miss an episode. And if you'd like to connect with Michelle Smith, please do so at Startup Mum, or at Michelle Smith. If you Google that on Facebook, you'll find her as well. And you can find me, Michelle Reinhardt, at Mindset, Energy and Healing Transformations, or inside my own beautiful online community at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite. That is it for us. My alarm just went off, so it's time to say goodbye until next week. Once again, thank you, Michelle, for joining us, and all you beautiful viewers out there, shine bright, superstars, because that is why you're here. And we will see you next week. Thank you, Michelle. Goodbye.
Bye.